What's going on, guys? Welcome to the weekly live chat. I think this is live chat number 65. Live chat number 6. That's insane. We've been doing this for over a year. Got a little bit of water on my lip, apparently. But we've been doing this for over a year now since we started doing this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, going live, talking about all the latest news. There's a lot to talk about this week. There's the card coming up. We have Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. I think it's UFC Long Island or UFC ABC3. I'm tired of all these numbered names. It's hard to keep track of all of them. But we can talk about that as well as the card as a whole. I have two predictions out for that card. I have the main event prediction out. That's been out since Monday, I believe. And then also, actually, I released it on Monday too. Ricky Simone versus Jack Shore prediction. All on the channel. You guys can go check that out. So there you go. That's on the channel. We can talk about that. We can talk about Nate Diaz and his recent interview with Ariel Helwani. I actually might make a dedicated video on that, but I haven't finished watching the entire interview, so I haven't had a chance. Of course, I'm going to answer all your guys' questions like I usually do. If you're watching the replay of this, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions you want answered in the future, I'll try to answer them in the comments or next week's live chat. If I remember, I'll do my best. But as always, guys, I appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me actually look up how many subscribers I have on the channel. And also, I put in the title as well, Dana White Disappearance. Dana White has been MIA at the UFC events recently. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and give you guys an idea of what I potentially think could be going on. But it's really tough. It's all speculation at this point. Also, one other thing I wanted to mention, the new interview, second interview on the channel, Chris Curtis, UFC middleweight, fighting Jack Hermanson at UFC London. Not this Saturday, next Saturday, July 23rd. Amazing card, co-main event. He's stepping in for Darren Till. I did a full interview with him. I talked to him. I did a 30-minute interview with him. I asked him all sorts of questions about Adesanya, Pereira, Strickland getting KO'd, UFC contracts, UFC pay, fouls within fights and point deductions, and I mean, everything that I could think to ask him, I asked him in this interview. If you guys would do me a favor after the stream, go check that out if you haven't already. Like it, comment on it. I would greatly appreciate it. It's already doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well for my channel, my small channel. But if you guys haven't watched it yet, I ask you guys to go watch it after this. As far as the subscriber count on the channel, guys, we are sitting at 3,842 subscribers. That is insanity. So we are 158 subscribers away from 4,000. And 4,000 isn't like a massive goal for me, but I can't wait to get to 5,000. So 4,000 is going to be cool, but I'm really excited to hit 5,000 subs on the channel. If you've been watching any of the streams recently, you know that that's one of the goals that I have. All right, so let's talk. I have a bad habit of going into questions. You guys can put your questions in the chat. Let's talk about some of the things that are in the title so far. Again, the Nate Diaz interview. I haven't watched it in its entirety. It's like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. But I will watch the rest of that, and I'll probably make a video reaction. But quick thoughts about that. I think that Nate Diaz isn't completely done with the UFC. Nate Diaz is kind of all over the place when he's talking and saying different things and alluding to different things. I think Nate Diaz has just made it a goal that he wants to fight out his contract, regardless of who it's against. And I think he plans on and he thinks that he can make far more money boxing. And I don't even like to mention the name, but I guess this is kind of relevant. I think Nate Diaz thinks he can make far more money boxing Jake Paul than he can in any UFC fight that's available to him. And I think what he thinks is, if I go out there and beat Jake Paul, okay, I'm going to make millions of dollars. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not even getting into that. And then I'll get a rematch. Jake Paul's going to want a rematch. So I'm going to make another boatload of money for the rematch. And then after that, maybe I'll come back to the UFC and I'll fight Conor in a trilogy. And what I think the UFC wants, I think the UFC wants Nate Diaz to sit out until Conor's ready to return. I've said it from the beginning. I think that is the #1 most likely fight for Conor McGregor upon his return, because Nate Diaz is one of the biggest stars in the UFC. On top of that, You look at all the options for Conor McGregor right now, whether it be Tony Ferguson, whether it be Charles Oliveira, whether it be Michael Chandler, whether it be Justin Gaethje, whether it be Jorge Masvidal. You look at all those opponents and you start thinking about them, and then Nate Diaz, and, well, wait a second. What is the most likely opponent that Conor McGregor can be successful against? And this isn't any hate against Conor McGregor, but you start looking at those opponents. You start saying Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, Jorge Masvidal, Oliveira, Islam, Habib, whoever you want to mention. And you say, okay, well, what's the most likely that Conor McGregor gets a victory? Who's he most likely to beat is the real question. That's what the UFC is asking themselves. And they think to themselves, Nate Diaz is the opponent that Conor is most likely to beat out of that long list of opponents. And the UFC needs to get Conor a win. That's what, I mean, irrelevant, you think I don't like Conor, whatever. The UFC wants to get him a win. They need to get him a win. He's not won a lightweight fight in 6 years. He's only won one fight in 6 years. And he's the biggest star in the sport still. He's going to sell the most pay-per-views still. I don't even think I would pick Nate probably in a trilogy against Conor anyway. But I'm saying if I had to pick who was Conor most likely to beat, it'd be Nate Diaz. And also, if I'm looking through those fights, who's the biggest fight for Conor? It's probably the same answer. It's probably Nate Diaz. Jorge Masvidal is up for debate. But I think Conor Nate 3 would be massive. And there's really nobody else. It's not like the UFC can go out there. And I mean, they can kind of try to, but the top 15 is looking bleak for Conor. I don't know who in the top 15 that Conor McGregor is going to defeat at this point in time. There's a lot of 50-50 fights there. He could beat Ferguson, he could beat even Chandler. He could even beat Oliveira. There's always a chance there. But the UFC doesn't want to risk it. They want to give him optimal chance to get on the winning path. That's why they booked him against Donald Cerrone a while ago. They gifted him the Donald Cerrone fight because they knew he would win that fight. There was almost 0% chance Cowboy Cerrone was going to beat Conor McGregor. That's what they're looking to do here. I think they're trying to tie down Nate until they can get the Conor fight. And also, Nate Diaz, even though Dana White and the UFC kind of delegitimizes him a bit, they still realize behind the scenes, and Nate kind of said this in the interview as well, but I've always said this, Nate Diaz is a star for the UFC. People who hate Nate Diaz, because I know sometimes he says a lot of unlikable stuff, but people who hate Nate Diaz, they can say what they want. They can say, oh, Conor made him, blah, blah, blah. Nate Diaz was relevant in the UFC long before Conor. Okay? And maybe he wasn't a massive star, this and that. People cared when Nate Diaz fought before Conor was even in the UFC. And Nate's always had issues with the UFC. And they've always done this thing where they've had contract disputes. And then what happens is they end up renegotiating the contract finally. And then they give Nate a terrible matchup. I remember at one point in time, they renegotiated his contract. And they said, okay, you're fighting Rafael Dos Anjos. And this was when Rafael Dos Anjos was in his prime, Dana White, he's not going to lie in the favor of Nate Diaz ever. He said that Nate Diaz accepted a Khamzat Chimaev fight. Nate wants to get his fight. He wants to win or lose. He doesn't care if he wins or loses. He wants to go box Jake Paul twice, make millions. I don't know how much money he's really going to make because there's been rumors that the pay-per-views haven't done too well. Then he maybe comes back to the UFC. But also, I think it's about control. I think it's about principle for him. The UFC has kind of degraded him for a long time, regardless if they're paying him or not. And he's saying, you know what? I can go make money elsewhere. I'm going to go do it. So that's my whole thoughts on the Nate Diaz situation. I'm going to watch the rest of the interview. I'm going to do a full video on it most likely. You guys can check that out. Maybe that'll be out later today. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. But they want hold on, what am I? Yeah, I messed up the title. I just saw that in the chat. I'm dumb. I don't know how I messed that up. I guess I was thinking wrong. I typed it right in the... No, I didn't type it right in the description either. I don't know how I did that. There we go. We fixed it. And my nose is itching already from talking, which is actually infuriating. But basically, again, UFC wants to keep him for the Conor McGregor trilogy. It's Conor McGregor's most likely chance to win. And then I guess he can move on after that. But also, I don't think they want him to move on. Nate Diaz moves pay-per-views, 100%. Okay, let's move on to the chat. Then we'll get on to some of the other topics after this. Let's see. What's up, Mad Tony Guns? What's up, Homework? What's up, Aiden? What's up, Alex? Dana White been missing for a while. Even back when I was watching actively, I noticed he was showing up less and less. Yeah. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but it's very strange. What's up, Antoine? My day was good. How was yours? He's probably ready to step down. Not going to lie. Maybe. Joey got the Dagestani beard. Do I? My mustache is a little bit thinner than my beard, but thank you for noticing, my friend. I did that to hope to curtail the nose itches, honestly. Yeah, make sure to like the stream, guys. Thank you, Samson. Run up the likes on the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Blaze1, thank you for being a member. The emojis don't show up on StreamYard, so it looks like that. What's up? Keep out. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming to the stream. Dude, I never thought the UFC as a prison until I saw what Nate is going through. What other options does he really have? So I don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. But essentially what Nate would have to do is sue the UFC. Now, there's probably a lot of gray area in there because I think that, Nate's probably said, what they'll do is they'll offer him fights that he's going to turn down. Because Dana always says, we're contractually obligated to offer these fights. So they may offer him one fight that, we'll offer you a fight in 1 month against Khamzat Chimaev. And then Nate's like, well, I can't fight in a month. And that probably counts as turning down a fight. So the best thing to do would be able to take him to court. But it doesn't work that way. Eddie Alvarez had an issue with Bellator years ago. And basically, he tried to sue him in court. It was taking so long and so much of his career that he decided to drop it and just go fight for Bellator because basically he was going to lose 4 or 5 years of his career, at least 3 years at the bare minimum. And it wasn't worth the legal battle. So that could be what's going on here too. Did you see how Till said he would have finished Brunson the first if he was? Yeah, I did not see that, but it's just annoying. Hey, Joey, me and a friend had a debate on who was the more skilled fighter, Yan or TJ. I want to know who you think is more skilled. Yan, Piotr Yan is the more skilled fighter, in my opinion. I think he's super well-rounded everywhere. Are you subscribed to any UFC fighters' YouTube channel? I don't believe so. I don't believe I'm really subscribed to any MMA channels outside of James Lynch, I think, is the only one. I could be wrong, but I think so. What's up, French fries? Who is the best BJJ fighter in UFC history? I don't know. Maybe Damian Maia. Yeah, I'm an elite level black belt in every form of combat. Masvidal and Tony are both showing their age recently and are winnable fights for Conor if he comes back strong. Yeah, but that's a big if. Love Nate. He's a legend and speaks the truth. I love Nate as well. Should have gave him stop it. Dana White said it best. They should take away his promoter license if he makes that fight. That would be disturbing. Absolutely disturbing. I like Nate Diaz. I think he's an OG, but that said, I think he's delusional. Nate versus Conor would be big, but I don't think it would be as big as it would have been 3 years ago. What exactly is Nate delusional about? So I'm curious what your take is. But Nate versus Conor would be ginormous. I think it would be one of the biggest fights the UFC could ever make. I'm telling you right now, Fight Life, and I'm confident in that. Conor will easily KO Nate. I doubt it. Even if Conor beats Nate at 170, he's still going to have 0 lightweight wins since 2016. Very true. Thank you for this. I saw this mid-discussion, and I fixed it. Joey, if Misha loses to Lauren Murphy on Saturday, should the UFC book the rematch between Shevchenko and Santos? Yes. Yes, for sure. I'd rather see that over Misha Tate any day anyway. Thank you. Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul doesn't do crazy numbers. Yeah, I don't think it does that good, but I think Nate wants to go test the waters to see what kind of contract he can get from them. because he might be looking for guaranteed paid. He doesn't care about the pay-per-views. Keep all the pay-per-view money. Just give me $20 million or something like that. I don't think that's even possible. And I think Nate could potentially fight out his contract and then end up coming back anyway. So let's say Conor beats Nate. Do you think UFC? Yes. Any win for Conor. Conor could go out there and beat up Marlon Moraes. An overweight Marlon Moraes coming off 7-fight losing streak by TKO. And they would give Conor a title shot? Yes. That is exactly what would happen. And some I wouldn't even watch it, most likely. Most likely I wouldn't watch it. If it were to me, George would forced to sit in jail a few months after that assault. People have died from assaults like that. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. Colby, there's in life in general, it's not always the case. I'm not in favor at all for assaulting people based on words. But what I will say is sometimes actions have consequences, and I'm not going to cry any crocodile tears for Colby. But I'm not saying I like it, is what I'm saying. As a Conor fan, I don't want to see him fight Nate. I think he will lose. Would rather see the Masvidal. I think he loses both of them, honestly. Dana's still at the PI running the show. Yeah, but still weird that he's been disappearing from the fights. Does Conor fight before the end of the year? Yeah, I'll say he fights in December. If I had to guess, November, December. In your interview with Chris Curtis, did he told you when he is flying out to London? I think he said this weekend, maybe. I think he told me off interview. We talked for a while off interview. Do you think Jake Paul, Dana White accusations are, what's the word we're looking there, is true about the, I don't know what word you're saying there, Kenosha. Funny how he shuts up and runs when Jake keeps talking the trash. We'll get to that in a minute. Figure out, I don't know what this word is you're trying to say here. But we'll get to that. But I actually have a theory on that too, why Dana keeps quiet. Honestly, Nate Diaz is in the wrong from what I've seen. Dude's been begging for fights left and right. Also, Conor versus Nate is the biggest chance to win. Masvidal would kill Nate, in my opinion. Yeah. If Nate versus Conor did happen, who would you choose? I'd probably favor Nate. Also, the UFC wants to make that fight, but they're not going to make that fight and let Nate beat Conor and then leave the UFC. That's the other thing. If they want, they're going to make sure that Nate Diaz is locked down to a contract. The entire lightweight top 15 have gotten a matchup. What are the fights you would make personally? I don't know. Maybe that's a good video to make. I might do that this week. I'm going to skip that question because I might make a full-blown video on that, Jack. But definitely Oliveira Islam. I'll tell you that much. Are you ever going to collab with the MMA Guru? Never heard of him. How could Nate be in the wrong? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what he has to say. Chris Curtis is from my hood, Cincinnati, Ohio. That's awesome. It's just funny because Ariel's being so goofy in the interview as well because he doesn't mess with the UFC either. Yeah, exactly. And also, I have a theory that Ariel gets paid by Jake Paul. Do you give Yair chances against Volk? Like a 10% chance, yeah. Did you see Dana gave one of the Nelk boys $250K as a B-Day gift? Very disrespectful to the fighters on 12 and 12 with no health insurance. Yes, I did. Do me a favor, White Magic. When we talk about the Dana White disappearance here in a second, can you ask me about that again? Because I want to get into that. I want to get into the Dana White, Jake Paul trash talk as well. Just remind me of all that when we get into that in a second. Let me see something really quick. Yeah, okay. So just try to remind me of that in a minute, okay? Because I want to kind of talk about that all at once. So that's why I'm just kind of skipping it. Can Tony make a comeback? Depends what you define as a comeback. If we're talking a title shot, absolutely not. Is it possible to be good in one area of mixed martial arts anymore? Well-roundedness seems like every fighter is. I mean, it's possible. It's not going to work out super well for you. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not, but okay, I'll take your word for it. You hear about Lauren Murphy being super sick in training camp and fighting Valentina at way less than 100%. I think we need a rematch. I don't think she wins it, but sure. Give her a rematch. Yeah, look at Fazeev. Action have consequences. Those consequences should be jail time. There you go. Exactly. I have no problem for it. I have no problem with that. There you go. Do you think Ricky Simone is the toughest opponent Jack Shore has ever faced in the UFC? Yes. 100%. I bet you Dariush fights before Conor, probably. Give Conor the credit he deserves. He is the biggest earner in UFC. He can beat Nate Diaz or Masvidal. His striking is better than Masvidal. Also, who do you have in Tony Conor? It's 50-50 for me. I think they should book Kevin Holland versus Nate Diaz would be a fun. I have no desire to see that, but that would be a fun fight. But I have no desire really because there's so many better matchups. It's like, yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. I'm with you. Hold on a second. Why is there no female corner women in the UFC? You'd think Nunes or Valentina would corner some females. It's weird to me. There is female cornermen or corner women. There has been. I mean, off the top of my head, Tony Kelly recently had Angela. I can't remember her last name off the top. Andrea Lee in his corner. It happens. It's just not as prevalent. So, there is. I can't think of any more. I think Amanda Nunes was cornering Nina Nunes. Nina Nunes, I think, was cornering Amanda Nunes sometimes. There's been some, but it's not as prevalent for sure. Okay. Where was I at? Something isn't sitting right with me having Misha cut to 25, seeing her look bad on scales at 35. Yeah. Who knows, man? I haven't heard anyone shitting on him. Nate Diaz has no filter. What he thinks is what he says. He's an entertaining character, and he said that he keep offering fight that they will not do just to get him to sign. For sure. The UFC. Oh, by the way, I meant to say thank you, Kenosha, for the $5, man. I went down and read your question right away because of the super chat. But I really appreciate the $5, Kenosha. It means a lot. I appreciate your support on the channel, and I appreciate you. Okay. Let's figure out where we were. Yeah, the UFC does, what's the word I'm looking for? I use it all the time. They essentially use vindictive matchmaking is what I call it. They purposely do that. Obviously, Yuri would beat Usman, but if Usman did win somehow, would you consider him the GOAT? The GOAT of what? But he would definitely be ranked up there pretty high. Do you personally agree with Chris Curtis being the betting favorite over Hermanson right now? Pretty wild how far Chris' expectations have come in a short window of time. I don't know really exactly how odds work. I'm not a betting guy, but I'll put it to you this way. I think it is a very close fight. If I had to put it in terms of percentages, I would say like 60-40 for Chris. I think 60% Chris wins, 40% Jack wins. Just because if this was full camp for both guys, I would favor Chris maybe like 75-25. But I think that Chris Curtis, Jack Hermanson, I think as far as Chris against the top 10 of the division, I think Jack Hermanson's the best matchup for him style-wise because we know what Jack wants to do. I think Jack's well-rounded. Jack has very good striking as well, but I think Jack is going to be the better grappler. I think Chris is the better striker, and I think if Chris can stuff the takedowns like he did in the Rodolfo Vieira fight, I think he'll win on the feet, but I think it'll be a close fight. Nate seems a bit hard to reason with. Yeah, I guess so, for sure. How much money has Nelk made the UFC if you had to guess? Over $1 million or less? Definitely over $1 million. We're going to get to that in a second. Let me actually type all these reminders here in a second. Because when we get to the Dana White thing, we're going to talk about everything. So Dana's disappearance. We're going to get to all of this in 1 second. Disappearance. Dana, Nelk. Dana, Jake. And if there was anything else, someone will have to remind me when we get to that. And I would greatly appreciate it if you did. Let me scratch my ear here. You're underestimating the numbers Nate versus Jake will do. If promoted correctly, it will do better than any UFC Nate Diaz fight. I doubt it does better than him versus Conor. The Nelk boys have a lot of influence on social media. That $250K is an investment for them to promote UFC, which they have been doing. Exactly. And we're going to talk about that in depth in a minute. I'm going to try to catch up to the questions in the chat. I might not be able to, and then we'll just get to that and talk about all those different things since I have it in the title. I can understand not paying fighters too if they aren't big stars. However, every fighter should have insurance. Yeah, sure, fair enough. Usman should rough him up publicly for the shit he said. Who? Who are you talking about? I noticed ever since Dana said he's meeting with Zuckerberg, he's gone missing from the UFC events. Maybe he's lost in the metaverse. I have no idea what's going on there. What's next for Gregor Gillespie? I want to see him versus Jalen Turner. Will he ever fight again? I think they should do him versus Mark Madsen. I doubt. Gregor wouldn't accept it, probably. Hey, I've been checking out your streams recently, and I enjoyed them. Here's a question. If Short gets past Simon on Saturday, who do you see him winning between him and fellow ranked prospect Umar Nurmagomedov? I think that's a 50-50 fight, and that's a fight that I am dying to see. I'd probably pick Umar. What fighter that has never won a belt would be in the Hall of Fame? Yoel Romero. Have you ever seen a clip of a guy taking a groin shot from France? I've seen the movie. I've seen the entire movie, but yes. I'm dying to see Hamzat fighting again. Agreed. Have you ever seen a female referee? Kim Winslow? Yes. Do you see Steve Will Do It video where he was being very disrespectful to Pedro Munoz after the eye poke incident? I saw him talking crap to Henry Cejudo, but not Pedro Munoz. But what a joke that is. What about Nate versus Bobby Green? That's never going to happen. UFC wants to book him against another big name. Thoughts on Mackenzie Dern versus Yan Xiaonan headlining a fight night? Ew. That's my thoughts. Ew. I'm actually disgusted that you even remind me of it, Jack. Should not be. It's a fun fight. Should not be a main event. Disgusting. Sad that Colby Hamzat probably won't happen. I agree. That's a fight that I am dying to see. Hamzat versus Colby is an amazing fight. Do you think Miesha Tate is being cocky heading in? I haven't heard anything she said, so I have no idea. Gregor Gillespie should go down to 145. He's too small. A lot of those monsters. I don't know if he's too small. What's up, Niles? Who do you have fighting for the title first, Emmett or the winner of Ortega Rodriguez? Emmett. It'll be Emmett or Rodriguez. If he wins, I'll say Rodriguez does it. You said you hated Weidman for how he celebrated when he beat Anderson. How do you not hate Dustin for the way he acted when Conor broke his leg? What do you mean by the way he acted? Because he acted totally normal, and then Conor was yelling shit to him from the sideline, and he talked a little bit of shit back. So I don't know what exactly do you mean there. Chris has a pretty clear path to victory against Jack. That's why he's the favorite. There you go. Did you see Nate Diaz slap the full send Nelk reporter? Yes. Yes, I did. I didn't know the UFC guys walked out on Nate during a meeting. I think he said he wanted to fight Izzy or Francis instantly. He was kidding about that. That's not for real. Great interview. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thomas Kane. What's good, Joey? I'm on the train. Perfect time for a stream. Where are you from, VT, again? Where are you from that you're on a train? Jorge Masvidal owes Colby Covington $25K. Okay. Usman at light heavyweight 205 would be interesting. It would be most natural form inside the cage. I don't want to see him at 205. I think he loses to everyone. The only women fighter I like is Juliana Pena. Okay. He strut walked towards him. Chris Curtis has a signed jersey for sale on UFC merch site. You could probably get him to sign something for you anyways. I don't know what you're getting at there. I don't know what you're trying to get at. Boston. Okay, I knew you said so before. I'm just gonna ask him to send me some of his corner Venom gear, so I can suit up in Venom gear for Saturday night. Why is Kamaru keeping saying that he will go to light? He's an idiot. Would you say Arnold Allen is currently third in line for the title shot after Emmett and Yair if he wins this weekend? Should Emmett fight Arnold? I would like that. Arnold Allen's an interesting prospect in the division. Not that far away from a title shot. Super well-rounded as well. So, okay. Guys, keep the questions coming. I'm going to get into all the other questions that I've kind of skipped over a little bit. What is this? That I've kind of skipped over a little bit because I wanted to talk about them all at the same time. But we're going to talk about Dana White's disappearance from the UFC. We're going to talk about Dana White, the Nelk Boys $250K gift. And we're going to talk about Dana White, Jake Paul trash talk. Ew. I'm only talking about that for a few seconds because I don't even like to give that stuff air. I don't even like to say that guy's name on the channel. It is what it is. Everyone's got to make money, but I don't, I don't have to support it. So first off, Dana White's disappearance. This is very strange. He wasn't at 275. He wasn't at 276. He hasn't been at a lot of the recent fight nights. What is going on there? Is there some internal friction going on behind the scenes? I have no idea. Honestly, I wanted to talk about it because it's not getting enough press, but it's very weird that he's kind of disappeared. And I wonder, it could just be he wants some time off. Maybe he's getting burnt out. I mean, think about it. If he's traveling around, he used to travel to every event. It used to be a big story that Dana White wasn't at a certain event. So as far as the disappearance go, I thought maybe at 276, maybe he had COVID or something, and that's the reason he wasn't there. But I mean, that's long past at this point. That was over a week ago. Almost 2 weeks ago at this point. So he would have been, back. He would be back there. I don't know if he's even going to be there this weekend. But it's very strange that a lot of these recent events, I don't remember the last event that he was at. And I'm wondering if next thing you know, we find out Dana White's leaving I would find that hard to believe. I think he's always going to be a part of the UFC in some capacity. But it's very weird, and I'm wondering if it's the fact that maybe there's some tensions going on. Maybe he just needs a break. He's burnt out. There's so many different theories. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you guys have any theories for why this is? Because I'm genuinely curious. As far as the Dana White and Elk Boys, okay? So you guys know I'm not some, massive Dana White defender. I don't really watch the Nelk Boys, but I'm not some huge Nelk Boys hater or Nelk Boys fanboy. I'm actually, and I really wish I would have put more thought into this, but I just haven't had the time. And it's I don't know, I only have so much brain capacity to think about things, and last thing I'm thinking about is Dana White and Nelk. As far as the $250, okay, $250,000, that's a big difference. I think leave the man alone, okay? And what he's doing is, everyone thinks Dana's great friends with the Nelk Boys and Dana loves the Nelk Boys. That may be true. Those may be true. Dana, at the end of the day, is using the Nelk Boys. He may like them. He may reciprocate to them with, $250K or anything like that. Dana White is using them to promote the business. Giving that $250K to the Nelk Boys probably ended up in one of their vlogs or something. Who is the Nelk Boys' audience, okay? Who is their audience? Their audience is young males. Who watches the UFC? Young males. I think, 16 to 35 is the audience of the UFC, males. Nelk Boys, same thing. So Dana is using them, not necessarily a bad way, as a promotional tool to elevate the UFC's popularity. And it's worked. The relationship has worked. Maybe he's done, he's probably done stuff for them on the back end, getting them more publicity. Again, it's a trade-off. It's no different than when there's a collab on YouTube, okay? So for example, whatever YouTuber A does a collab with YouTuber B, okay? They are then combining their audiences, and then now YouTuber B is getting some of YouTuber A's audience, and YouTuber A is getting some of YouTuber B's audience. And it's a trade-off. And the Nelk Boys and Dana White have that type of relationship. He gave him $250K. He knew it would be a massive story. He knew he would end up in their vlog. And now some 14-year-old boy is watching the Nelk Boys vlogs or on their website. They're like, who's this Dana White guy? Oh, Dana White's the president of the UFC? Well, the Nelk Boys love him, so now I love him. Oh, wait, he has events? I got to watch these events. And now there's fans that are catching on to the sport who might have otherwise not watched. So people saying, oh, Dana White's giving away money and he doesn't pay his fighters. I'm all for fighter pay. I think the percentage of revenue distributed to the fighters is far low. But I have no problem with Dana giving Nelk Boys $250K as a birthday gift just for the publicity that he's getting with their fan base that he's hoping to convert into his fan base. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on there. That is what's going on there. He is getting more for his money than if he used that $250K on advertisements, on targeting ads online, on targeting TV ads. He's getting more for his money from them than he is otherwise somewhere else if he took that money to somewhere else, because they are giving him the publicity that he wants. So it's worth every penny, you know? It's no different than, here's a good way to describe it, okay? So you see these videos of like Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is a good example. A lot of people know who Mr. Beast is. Mr. Beast does these videos where he's giving out all this money. He's giving out hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on videos to all these different people and all this. Or he's also spending money on these elaborate, crazy videos. And people are like, how does he do this? Now, granted, to get to that point that you're able to do that is the insane part, is the hard part. Because you can't just start out of nowhere. You know, I can't just start tomorrow and make a 60K video that costs me 60K. That would be insane. But what happens is he gives away that money because the video itself is worth more. You know, he may give away $1 million in a video. And I'm not saying this is the case every time. But then that video gets so much attention and so much views that he now makes $1.5 million off the video. Here's another good example, okay? You ready for this? I watch some lawn care YouTube channels. I watch it's not like a huge hobby of mine, but I watch these videos of like these yard transformations of these I mean, there's actually huge YouTube channels that are specifically about lawn care. And what they'll do is they'll spend a whole day and there'll be like 2 or 3 of them, or sometimes it's just one of them and it takes them 2 days. And they will cut these massive overgrown yards. They will trim all the trees up. They'll cut the 2.5 foot long grass and they'll throw everything away and they'll edge it really nice and they'll make it a massive transformation. And they'll knock on these people's doors if people live there. Sometimes it'll be abandoned building. But if someone lives there, they'll knock on the doors and ask for their permission and tell them, look, I'm going to do it for free. People ask them, why are you doing this? Why are you willing to do this for free? And this is the perfect analogy for the Dana White and Elk situation. They are doing it for free for the attention they're going to get from the video that then in turn is going to make them more. So they may do a $5,000 job trimming up someone's trees and cutting their massive lawn that's overgrown, and they may spend 2 days doing it, and they might have made $5,000 if they charged for it, hauling it all away and gas and dumping it and this and that. But guess what happens? They record it, they put it out on YouTube, and they just made $30,000, $40,000 off of YouTube ad revenue or whatever it may be. You know, I'm talking massive channels. This isn't always the case. But you get the point. It's all about the return on the investment. It is the investment that Dana White is putting into them because he knows he's going to get it back. And also, even you know, I just went in depth on that, but in its most simplistic form, they've probably given him more than $250K themselves. Whether it be jewelry, I know they gave him a van at some point in time. That's what they're doing. They spend money to make money. They spend money to get attention. And then in turn, it makes them more money. That's the answer to that question. I don't have a problem with it. I think the combining of Dana White's $250,000 birthday gift and fighter pay are two things that don't belong together. They have nothing to do with each other. You know, Dana White buys a nice house, but he doesn't pay the fighters. Doesn't really have to do with each other. Okay? First off, the fighter pay isn't coming directly. I mean, kinda. It's not coming directly out of Dana White's pocket. Okay? It's the company itself. There's multiple people who are making that decision. Is he part of it? Yes. Is the revenue split for the fighters good? No, it's not. But that doesn't mean he's not allowed to give away, you know, birthday gifts for promotional reasons. You know, so I'm here as not a big Dana White fan. I'm not some, cult like follower of Dana White. I'm not some defender. I'm not some Nelk boy fanboy. You get the point though. It's just the way it works, and I think people will use anything to crap on them. And I'm a person who, when someone's right, they're right, even if I don't like them. When they're wrong, even if I love them to death. Just like I said, of a while ago when I was talking about the Pedro Munoz eye poke. If the roles were reversed, I'd be making the same videos, and I'd be defending Sean. But it's just, it is what it is. I hate to defend him, but it's the truth. He's doing it for promotional reasons. That's it. End of story. Last part of the Dana White series on this live chat, because remember I had a couple questions and I wanted to make sure that we discussed it. And you guys will have to give me your thoughts in the chat and also send questions in the chat. Dana White in the Jake Paul trash talk. Why is Dana White ignoring Jake Paul and not responding? Okay. Don't get me wrong. Jake Paul is relevant. Okay. I'm not saying he's irrelevant. Dana White is way more relevant than Jake Paul. Okay. Especially in combat sports in general. Jake is using Dana against Dana's will to promote himself. He's talking shit to Dana, so then Dana can talk shit back, and then it elevates Jake Paul. So this is kind of a similar situation to the Dana Nelk boys, but it's non-consensual, okay? So Dana, I believe Dana doesn't really like Jake Paul all that much. I don't think he necessarily hates him, loves him, whatever you want to say it. But I believe what's going on is the interest in Jake Paul is waning. Okay, you can only fight trash cans for so long and people care, but he's still a YouTuber. He still has a massive fan base, but he still needs combat sports fans in general to help support what he's doing. He needs that. So he talks shit to Dana, so then Dana White talks shit back, and then in turn, it elevates his profile. And I think Dana White has made a conscious decision. You know what? I'm not going to talk shit back because I'm giving him exactly what he wants. And that's, even though I'm realist about what my channel is. It's a very small channel. Okay. The reason you guys, and I know I'm breaking the rule on this one. The reason I say I'm not talking about Jake Paul, I say I'm not even saying his name on this channel, is because I don't care for what he's doing, okay? I'm not saying it's wrong. Everyone's got to make money, blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested in it. And the last thing I want to do is to, in any way, promote what's going on there, okay? So I refuse to talk about it. I refuse to answer questions about it. I refuse to say his name. Not because I'm making a difference, but even if it's the tiniest difference, I want to do that. And Dana's like, you know what? I'm not going to give this guy what he wants. I've seen it plenty of times. We've talked about it before. There is certain things that go on YouTube, okay? I forgot what exactly in what context we were talking about this in the members Discord. But we talked about the whole thing where there was another YouTuber talking, saying some nasty things about me a little bit. And, I talked about it a little bit, but I said, I'm not talking about it anymore, okay? The last thing I ever want to give off is that I'm attacking somebody because they're bigger than me and I want clout. Because the main reason people do that, people attack others on YouTube all the time, So all of a sudden I'm saying, oh, this guy sucks, Luke Thomas sucks, Ariel sucks, blah, 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 blah. Now, granted, they're never going to respond to me. But there's probably others that are slightly larger than me. Maybe there's an MMA channel with 10,000 subs or 20,000 subs or 50,000 subs that I could try to attack and start like a beef with, and I would get some clout from it. I would get some attention from it, and it would help me grow mine. And that's what some people do, whether it be in life or whether it be on YouTube. That's just the best analogy I can give. That is what Jake Paul is doing. Jake Paul is punching up. He's hoping to get a response, and he's hoping to, in turn, promote himself and elevate his profile. And I don't like that. I've never been one for that. I will never do that on this channel. And not that I'm saying we're even remotely the same thing, but it's just my way of explaining it to you. I think it's a bad look when you're looking at someone who's more successful and more popular than you. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start shit with this person because then in turn I elevate my stock. You know, I'm gonna go talk shit about Morning Combat and I'm gonna try to start a beef with them. I'm gonna go comment on their post and say they're assholes and they're stupid and they don't know what they're talking about. So then their fans, some of their fans might come my way. Stuff like that. I would never do that. It's just not a good look. And that's what Jake Paul is doing. Non-YouTube analogy. Forget that he's a YouTuber. He's punching up at Dana. He's hoping for attention from Dana so that it elevates himself. One last analogy I'll give you on it in case you fully don't understand. I try to be as clear as possible on this channel. We've talked about it. What was it called? First Take. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith. They don't do that anymore, I don't believe. So now I'm free to talk about it. They used to go on there and say the most ridiculous shit because then people would then talk about it, criticize it, and elevate their profile. That's the reason they did it. Rinse and repeat. Go on TV, say ridiculous shit. And people do that on YouTube too. I mean, there's another example. People will say outlandish shit for attention, you know. I'll say, well, you know what? This guy's the best fighter to ever do it, even though he's beaten nothing but trash cans. And just say outlandish shit to garner attention. People are desperate for attention. They'll say things that don't make sense. It gets everyone talking, and therefore it gets the spotlight on them. Happens all the time. Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith did it perfectly for years. Their show was one of the most watched shows because people were like, well, what ridiculous take are they going to say next? What are they going to say next? I can't wait. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to tweet out and say, this shit's terrible. I don't know what's going on here. Why are they saying these types of things? And they're just getting their name out there. I will never do that, and I'm just so tired of hearing that type of stuff. Okay, we're done. Dana White has been discussed. The disappearance has been discussed. The Nelk Boys things have been discussed. The Jake Paul stuff has been discussed. Back to the questions. Let's see, because now I've fallen massively behind, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to catch up. I'm going to skip through some of these. I'm going to read some. I'm going to skip through some. If you guys have any questions when I catch up, you can put them in the chat. If anybody wants to support the channel, you can ask me questions anytime. We have a good community of about 40 people in the members Discord. You get extra benefits. You get extra live streams. You get a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm always posting behind-the-scenes stuff. And we talk about MMA every single day. We have a great community of people in there. It's $3 a month. The link is in the description to become a member. And I just posted it in the chat. You also get a loyalty badge next to your name, which I always try to answer people with loyalty badges, as well as you'll get custom emojis you can use in the chat and the comments. Hamzat Chimaev emoji, Conor McGregor sleeping against the fence emoji, Habib emoji, Nate Diaz emoji, bunch of emojis. It's $3 a month. The link is in the description as well as the chat. Become a member. Okay, let's find out where I left off in the chat. And don't forget to like the stream. If you have not liked the stream yet, like the stream. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, let me see if I can find my spot. I'm sorry if I missed your question. Just try to post it again, and I'll see if I can get to it. Let's see. What you say, Arnold Allen is currently third in line for title shot after Emmett Yair. If he wins this weekend, should Emmett fight Arnold? I already answered this. I said yes. He's probably third in line. I was meaning to ask you, can you get... Stop, dude. I feel like that's an abuse of a personal relationship. No. Magomed Ankalaev versus Yuri Prohaska. Who wins and how? Probably Magomed Ankalaev by wrestling him. Probably by decision. That's what I would say. Probably by decision. I'll be at UFC Long Island. That's awesome. I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you get yourself a Venom UFC fight kit, and I hope you wear it there. What fighters should move up and wait for the better? I have no idea. I can't. I think somebody asked me this last week, and I didn't know. Just say it could be a nice addition to the merch collection. This channel is a big fan. Yeah, I feel kind of corny doing that, man. I would feel kind of corny. Maybe, but I would feel weird doing that. I'm a weird dude. I don't like asking for anything from anyone. I'm just a lone survivor here, okay? Who should Hooker fight next at 155? Well, I can't believe this many people are obsessed with Hooker. Uh, book him against Diego Fajeda. I think Diego Fajeda has a fight, though. I hate to feed him to Jalen Turner, to be quite honest. I don't know. I'm going to try to catch up. I have no idea. Like the video, Hooker is fighting Clay Guida. There you go. I didn't know that was happening, but okay. Dana gives these fighters a platform being in the UFC, and it's on them to rise their stock, and Dana give a reason to pay them more. Why do you think Sugar makes this much money this early? His persona. I think that's partially true, but partially wrong at the same time. There's no reason these guys should be accepting brain damage and not making significant money off of it, regardless of their placement on the card. The UFC needs the number of fighters that they have to sell advertisements and all that good stuff. It's not like 100% of the UFC's revenue is from pay-per-view sales, okay? People think that is, or ratings. That's not where all their revenue comes from. So there's other revenue sources for the UFC, and I believe the UFC fighter pay as a whole should rise. How much? That's up for debate. I'm not one of these people that say, oh, it should be 50-50. It should be 60-40, the fighters. I don't know what the answer is. There's probably smarter people that know what would be fair. But what's going on right now, I definitely don't think is fair. In her interview, Misha said she wants to have a statement of her career. Tate 2.0 is overrated. Get a belt in Bellator. Okay. What do you think the UFC will do for UFC San Diego? That card is looking sloppy, especially for a fight that has fans. I don't know. Maybe they'll probably add stuff to it soon. That's still a bit away, but I'm assuming there'll be more stuff added to it soon. Honestly, Yair should fight Volk while Emmett and Arnold complete for number one contenders, assuming Yair wins against Ortega, of course. Yeah, that's a big if, though. That is a massive if, in my opinion. Dana has distanced himself a bit, but I think he didn't go to 276 because Singapore has strict no drug policy. Dana definitely into cocaine. 276 was not in Singapore. 275 was in Singapore. And he didn't go to Singapore because apparently a child's birthday. Dana taking a retirement break. Thoughts on Molly Meatball being bet from negative 260 to negative 240? I have no idea. I don't really understand odds that much, but I don't really know. John Ennick feels like the new face. I don't think so. I don't think all that. It could be health related, so I don't want to jump to conclusions, but it feels something is going. Yeah, something's going on. I'll tell you that much right now. I wonder if it's health related. I wonder if, maybe there's something going on there. I'm pretty sure Dana was at UFC Austin. Okay. I'm trying to catch up. The UFC and Dana White are almost every single UFC video they make because Nelk boys go to every single main event fight. Okay. I've been saying that while for a year. Nelk and UFC are they have the exact same fan base in a way. Maybe a little bit younger for Nelk, but either way, that doesn't hurt the UFC. Yep, good point, Joey, on the lawn channels. I've seen those too. Yep, exactly. They do it for the clicks. They do it for the views. And they get more clientele from the video. Exactly. What do you think is harder to do at a professional level, reffing or judging? Probably reffing for sure. Holy crap, I am way behind. Okay, I'm going to try to catch up. Let's see. What's next for Hamza? I want the Colby Covington fight. I think that's what it has to be. Otherwise, he's waiting for a title shot. Maybe he's injured and he's waiting for a title shot. But I would like to see him fight Colby Covington. Does Nate versus Conor go the distance? I'll say yes. Yeah, for sure. He could have TKO'd him in the first fight. He just decided to snatch the neck up. He was about to TKO him. Does John Jones knock out Stipe? No. Wins by decision. What's next for Michael Johnson, Jim Miller? I think that makes a lot of sense. If Burns versus Masvidal happens, what does the winner benefit? Name value, I guess. We need Cyborg versus O'Malley in the worst way. Sign me up, Blayton. Do you ever see yourself making a good living from YouTube? Are you currently getting any revenue from YouTube? Yes, I get revenue from YouTube. I get donations, ad revenue, membership revenue. Yes, I do see myself eventually. I just got to keep growing the channel. That's what I want to do long term. That's the plan long term. That wasn't the plan long term when I started, but that's the plan long term now. Because where I've gotten this quickly, another year or two, if I can keep growing the channel, we can get 10,000, 20,000 subscribers. I plan on being at 10,000 before the end of the year. I think we can do it, but it's all going to depend. I think, ad revenue isn't that great from YouTube, but the more you grow your channel, the the more you get donations and stuff like that. So if eventually I can do it full time, can do live streams all the time and get significant donations on the channel, super chat donations, I have a PayPal link in the description. You can donate to the channel. Stuff like that adds up. And, I get decent donations now at 4,000 subscribers. Imagine when I got 25K subscribers, you know what I mean? Or 20K subscribers. It'll only get better and better and better. But yeah, I hope so. Can Kelvin Gastelum beat all the top 10 people in front of him? I think it's very possible he could. Very possible he could. The only person I don't see him beating or having a chance to beat is Whitaker. Could Paulo Costa make some damage at 205, or would he get destroyed? Probably get destroyed. I think he could do some damage. Nah, don't ask for an autograph. That's disrespectful. I'd buy one. I'm going to start selling his autograph. I'm going to tell him to sign a bunch of merch, and I'll sell it for him. Who wins Dariush versus Hooker? Probably Dariush. Probably out-wrestles Hooker. But no, I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of fallen off the Hooker bandwagon a little bit. That sounds weird, but ever since he got KO'd by Michael Chandler, it just seems like it hasn't been the same. I feel like Corey Sandhagen versus Sugar Sean would be a dope fight for the fans. Corey Sandhagen has a fight against Song Yudong, but I would love it. Who does Ian Gary fight next? Can he win that fight you suggest for him next? I don't know who he fights. I kind of would like to see him take a bigger step up in competition next, but maybe like a Santiago Ponzinibbio, but I think that's too big of a step up. I think he'd probably lose that fight, to be honest. So there you go. How does PFL pay their fighters so much money? Seems super sus. Probably not paying a lot unless you win is probably the case. Their highest paid fighters, Kayla Harrison, most likely. How does Usman versus Whitaker end, with Whitaker TKOing him brutally? Who does the winner of Bilal versus Brady get? They're probably in line close to the title shot. Maybe a Shavkat at the time. Shavkat will make his way up in the meantime. And they'll duke it out for the next title shot after Hamzat. Well, who does Stephen Thompson get now? No clue. No clue. I feel like Wonderboy should just retire at this point. I'm back. Glad to have you back. What were your thoughts when Dana White called Chris Cyborg, Vanderlei Silva in a dress and shoes? I mean, I think it's kind of petty, especially when you might promote her one day. And I think it made it a little bit awkward because of that. For me, don't get me wrong. Me amongst my friends, we're always insulting each other and stuff like that. But I think when you're in a position of power, the last thing you should be doing is insulting other people's appearances, regardless of what you think, Keep that shit in your head. I never and we talked about this recently, it's one thing when random people online are talking shit to you. And I don't care about it. I mean, Dana White could talk shit about me and I wouldn't give one shit personally. But, when you have this massive following and you have these people that listen to every word you say, and then you think of the compounded effect of you saying shit like that. Like, how many people probably regurgitated that insult and that she probably constantly hears it? I think it's kind of, I think it's disturbing, I think it's unnecessary is what I'm trying to do. I think when you have the following that he has, you have more of a responsibility to not do that kind of shit because, if I talk shit about someone, it's not really going to matter. But when you have a following and you start talking shit about someone, that big following of millions of people are then going to go do that same thing, and that's really unnecessary. So there you go. That's my thoughts. What's up, Prison Mike? Thoughts on the Dana White disappearance? We already went over it beside you. It's fishy. It's fishy for sure. Something's going on behind the scenes, whether it be health, some type of issue backstage, some type of accusations maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying it's fishy, and I wanted to mention it. Dana hasn't been to the last 2-3 events. Do you think Steve A will retire soon? I mean, he's basically already retired. Where would you put Till in the middleweight rankings if they were real reflection on skill. I'd probably put him at like number 15. Yeah, something like that. What are your thoughts on Darren Till interview? Dude looked like he has a low place. Sad to see. I didn't see it. Unfortunately. I did not see it. Guys, if you have not liked the stream, we have like 60 people in here. We have 30 likes. We don't even have 30 likes. Run up the likes on the stream. I need you guys. That's the best way to support the channel. I appreciate it. Look at this. Look at my man, Blatant Express. Thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate you supporting the channel, Blatant Express. Right on, Joey. Thanks for taking Cyborg's back on that question. I took her back. I'm going to choke her out now. Yeah. I mean, I'm just giving the honest truth. You know, I get it. I get it to an extent. You know, if you and somebody else are having a back and forth. But you know what I'm saying. You get the point. You know, when you have a following and you're in a position of power, I just think it's a shitty move. But yes, thank you for the $5 holla. The $5 holla from Blatant Express supporting the channel. Dana White disappeared. He did F it Friday. Yeah, he disappeared from the UFC events. I'd like to see Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Corey Sandhagen someday, a battle of the skinny guys. Yeah, that'd be fun. Saeed Nurmagomedov looked really good. Composure, high-level striking. Yes, any other division, he'd have his name next to his number. He had a number next to his name. I said that backwards. Will Hamzat accept Nate Diaz? I have no idea. Apparently, Hamzat turned it down, too. Is Usman on steroid? No idea. Never heard of him. Yeah, so there you go. I don't fight disabled people. Seems like everyone was super high on Topuria, but now nobody talks about it anymore after the Jai Herbert fight. Still think he can crack top 5. Yeah, at featherweight for sure. I'm high on him at featherweight. I think I can answer the PFL question about pay. They have less than 10% of the fighters on their roster. UFC only pay. Yeah, and also I think they pay on the fighters lower or not a lot. Not a lot. Facts. You think Bo Nickel will be signed to the UFC soon? No idea. I think, isn't he coming on the Contender Series or something? Thank you again for the $5 holla. Holla for $1. Let's win some money. Yeah, if you guys want to donate some money, the super chat, the little money icon. Down in the chat, you get your message highlighted. Thank you for the $10 or $9.99 holla from beside you. Do you think Chris Curtis would ever hop on a live stream live? Definitely he would. We'll do it one day. He definitely would. For sure. I'm 100% certain. We talked about it before, but it was like kind of like a halfway thing, and then it never ended up happening. I let you guys know in the Discord about that. But definitely would. And we'll do it one day. We'll do it one day for sure. Obviously, it's not going to be very soon. I mean, he's got a big fight coming up and everything. But in the future, yeah, for sure, I'll invite him on. I got a bet on this UFC card. Good luck. If someone falls out of Cheetah versus Cruz, would you like to see O'Malley do against both ones? Yes, sure. Dana did say last year that he had a lot of places to visit, set up fights, different countries. Okay. There you go. Yep. Who do you like, Yair or Ortega? I have a full breakdown and prediction on the channel. So make sure to go check that out. Go check it out. I repeat, full breakdown and prediction on the channel. It's like 17 minutes long. Go watch it. I am going with Yair Rodriguez. Jalen Turner should get a step up. I agree. I'd like to see him against Gregor Gillespie. I love that fight. Do you think Shavkat versus Izzy at 185 will be a close one? I have no idea. That's a tough one. I've never even thought about it. I need more time to think about that. I was going to ask you, why do you think people were talking about Colby said to Jorge instead of Usman, but Assault would do that? Okay. Thank you again for the $10 holla, a.k.a. the $9.99 holla, a.k.a. the, I don't know, apparently there's some new like member super chat that kind of looks a little bit different in the chat. You see you have the stars on your super chat beside you. I appreciate you, man. Beside you goes from troll to member to donator to not only donator but moderator. What's the word I'm looking for? I want to say career, but that's not it. What an arc. What a life arc for Besides You to go from Sean O'Malley troll to where he is now. I mean, it's just one of the best stories in YouTube right now, Besides You's path. I make sure to hit the like button, brother. Always appreciate you. I think those things he said to Usman were some of the most out of line shit he said on the mic. I don't even remember what he said. Who wins between Arman and versus Fiziev, Aspinall versus Gane? I got Aspinall and Fiziev. I'm very high on Fiziev. I think it'd be very tough, but I think he would stuff the takedowns. Character arc. That's what I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. Fiziev, just the striking is elite of the elite. And Aspinall, I just think the wrestling would be superior, and he's super athletic and fast and has nasty power. Very well-rounded fighter. Yeah. His story is legendary. His story is, yeah, hell of a story. Hell of a story. He definitely is a good dude. We actually talked for longer than the interview is after the interview about a bunch of different stuff. He was showing me around his house, showing me the memorabilia he has. I learned something that I'd never UFC event, so maybe one day we'll talk about that. Wasn't Chris Curtis a welterweight most of his career? Yes, he was. What's up, Joey? Much love as always. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Machine Gun Kelly. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching the stream, Machine Gun. I will check it out. I missed that breakdown. Yeah, make sure to go check it out. I work hard on those. Besides you is a dope guy. Yes, he is. Amazing character arc. Will Volk's next fight be at 45 or 55? I say 45. 45. Thank you again for this, VT. Thanks, Pip. Big ups. Yeah, appreciate you, man. If you ever have any questions, now we have that mods tab. We have that mods tab in the chat where you guys can all the mods can talk to each other. There's only a couple of you guys, but I'm just kind of preparing for the future. And if you need to ask me anything in there about banning or anything like that, you can send me a message. But kind of just use your discretion. And you're in most of the streams. I feel like I can trust you not to ban anyone crazy or do anything to completely destroy the channel. So I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you helping out when you got the time. Almost a villain. Yeah, he almost was a villain, but I turned him into a superhero instead. Arnold Allen versus Calvin Kattar. I like that matchup, but doesn't really make sense right now. Calvin Cater's on a technical losing streak, and Arnold Allen's on a winning streak. The Michael Lehrer thing in Discord was awesome. Yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea that he was a comedian. And, he's a subscriber of the channel and comments on the channel, and that's pretty cool. Shout out to him. Thank you for your support if you're watching this, Michael. And I rock out with the gear for sure. Do you think Stipe comes back? Who do you favor between him and Jones? I favor Jones, and Stipe does come back, and I definitely favor him for sure. Jones. I favor Jones. I think he's just more well-rounded. Stipe's older. He's inactive. He's taking a lot of damage. He got brutally KO'd in his last fight. He's always dealing with injuries, it seems like. The eye poke issues, all that good stuff. Who wins, Fiziev or Volkanovski? I actually think Fiziev wins. I think Fiziev beats Volkanovski. For 155 matchmaking purposes, Beneil won't fight Gaethje or RDA because they're buddies, and Saruki and Fiziev won't fight unless it's for a belt, probably, because of the same management. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I know, but it all depends. Beneil and Islam were supposed to fight. They're under the same management. So you never know. Does the lightweight champion have a name? Yes, it's Charles Oliveira. Do you think Volk fights Josh Emmett of her fights at 45? If he wants a quick turnaround, but I don't know because he has a broken thumb, so probably not. That's a really good fight. Michael Chandler, Rafael Fiziev. I love that idea. I take Rafael Fiziev. I probably take Rafael Fiziev over anyone. I've been a huge high. I missed Fiziev RDA fight. I know RDA got knocked out, but was it a good fight? It wasn't a great fight, but it was a decent fight, and it showed that Fiziev had good cardio, good power, good striking. Yeah. Do you like Ariel Helwani, or are you more of a Luke Thomas? I'm really neither, honestly. To be honest, I used to watch Luke Thomas maybe 5-6 years ago, but really haven't watched him since. Ariel has some of the best interviews, but Ariel he changes with the wind. I'll say that. He's a chameleon. He's a chameleon. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You can see if you watched him long enough, he changes like a chameleon, but he's the best interviewer in all of MMA. 100%, no doubt about that. If he fights, typo, okay. If you could sit down and interview any UFC fighter, past or present, who would you want to be? I would pick El Kukui because he'd be very intellectual and inspiring. I have no idea. I'd be nervous. If I pick someone, super famous, I'd be nervous. So I have no clue. Who would I interview, past or present? I really can't answer it. I have no idea. I really don't have an idea of who I would interview. So there you go. Sorry, if I think of it, I'll let you know. I remember a video you did on Figgy a while ago. Do you think he stays at 125 or moves to 130? I think he stays at 125. 135 is not going to go well for him. RDA is the real BMF. Dude's resume is insane. I know I talked about it in the prediction video against Fiziev. Habib's toughest challenge would be Fiziev or Charles. Agreed. Figgy versus TJ at 135. Who do you got? TJ for sure. TJ. Do you see Bilal getting past anyone in the top 4 of the division? Bilal getting past any of the top 4? No. I think he loses to everyone. Sorry, Bilal. Sorry. Who would you pick between Tony versus Nate? I'd almost definitely pick Tony. I think he'd probably get a doctor stoppage. He would cut Nate up so badly. Sean Brady is going to beat Bilal, no doubt about it in my mind. I think I'm leaning Bilal on that one. Random, but I can't wait for the next Ariel Connor sit down. I barely even watch it. Ariel is just a fanboy of Conor McGregor. Honestly, Volk still beats Emmett with a broken hand. That's how wide the skill gap is. I agree. Would you ever want to interview any of the commentary team or anyone else that is not a fighter? Probably. I don't know. I've never really thought of that, Niles. I've never really thought of it too much. So maybe. Volk is the best technical fighter I've ever seen in the sport. No exaggeration. Yeah, him and Piotr Jan are 2 of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world for sure. Volk is so good. Good man, good man. I don't know what this is about, Prison Mike, but thank you for your compliment if you're talking about me. Connor is played out. He's probably a parody of himself now these days. Yeah, I'm just tired of, he's been sitting on the sideline for so many years and talking shit. It's just, I'm tired of hearing of it, honestly. It's just been one of those things where it's just like, ugh, we're talking shit again. And I know this time he has a legitimate reason for being out. Before, he was just sitting out talking shit. Doesn't sit well with me. All right, guys, we got about 6 people in the chat talking. We have over 60 people in the stream. So let me know right now. Right now, I'm talking to you. Let me know who's lurking in the background right now. I need to see your name in the chat. Who is lurking in the background? Answer me right this instant. If you want chat to continue, I need to know who's in here. And if anybody's in here who's not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. You need to chat anyway. So subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 4,000 subs ASAP. Who's lurking? Who's lurking? Yan versus Marlon Vera. I would take Yan all day long. What was up with the WWE big cheeses at UFC 276? Did they just show up a stroke of ego for Izzy? Probably. I have no idea. Volk has only ever lost 2 rounds in UFC. I didn't even know that. How do you see Chito versus the top 5? I see him losing to Corey Yan, etc. Versus the top 5. Well, he is number 5, so I think he loses to Corey Sandhagen. He's already lost. He loses to everyone. Yeah, he loses to everyone. He loses to Aljo. He loses to Piotr. Loses to Dillashaw. Loses to Sandhagen. Yeah, he loses to everyone. I think Connor should come back and box. He stole 4 rounds. Stop. Been lurking the whole stream. Appreciate you, French. Me. Appreciate you, Jay Batar. Just tuned in. Lurkers, stand up. Yeah, lurkers, stand up. I'm still waiting to see who's lurking in here. 65 people. 7 people talking in the chat. Aljo, Volk. Volk destroys him. Yo, Joe, reports are November 12th, Izzy versus Alex and Charles versus Islam at MSG. I'm driving 6 hours from Ohio. That's the case. You got to drive from Maryland. Where are you seeing these reports, Patty Mills? And don't you dare leave without giving me a response. Where did you see this? I need to know. Is it a legitimate source or is this just some horse shit? Because if you're lying to me, this is going to be it's going to be a shit stain on your record. Okay. Man, that's awesome. Mario, thank you for the $9.99 holla. Lots of lurkers in the chat. Appreciate your $10 donation. Guys, we've been getting donations left and right this stream and from members too. The biggest donation I've ever gotten on stream, I believe, is $50 Canadian. One day I can't wait to faint when I get a $100 donation. So who wants to be my first ever $100 donation? That's what I need to know. Who's going to be throwing it around like that? The big money. I think you can do a $500 donation. I'd faint right on stream. The stream would end. If someone donated me $500, I would faint. I would literally faint on here right at work immediately. Do you think Rockhold can beat Costa? Yes, but I don't trust this chin at all. I do not trust this chin at all. I have another question because I didn't get a response to my last one. Does Shane Burgos get cut if he loses to Jourdain? Probably not. But you never know. The UFC is always trying to maybe trim the roster a little bit and save a little bit of money. So maybe. But it's tough to say. But I'll give you a final answer and I'll say no. Because Shane Burgos is super exciting. So I'll say no, he does not. Isn't Dominant fighting Cheeto? Did they book TJ Aljo yet? TJ Aljo is not official. But Dominic Cruz Cheeto is official. Connor owns his own whiskey business. Probably another liver shot away from being TKO'd in the next... Sure. I'm playing Minecraft on a server currently. That's awesome. That Mayweather-Conor fight was rigged, in my opinion. Just got here. El Chapo is present, but writing a research article. Okay. I think you guys just like to see your face on the stream. I think they had WWE at the event because they knew Izzy was going to do the Undertaker walkout. Yeah, what a corny walkout, too, by the way. Equatius V is lurking in the chat. Patty should fight Hooker. Yeah, but I doubt they want to do that to Patty just yet. How would Yan versus Volk go at 45? I think Volk would be too big, too strong for him. I think Volk wins. It'd be interesting, though. When Dana White leaves UFC as he would one day, do you think it will be good for the UFC? It depends, man. It's 50-50. Could be good. Could be the worst thing to ever happen. Which UFC fighter would be best at doing MMA channels similar to yours? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I really don't know. Blaze One Sports with the disguise emoji. Israel Adesanya doesn't deserve to be main event anymore. Boring ass fighter. I would agree with you, but there's no way him versus Alex Pereira is not a main event. Is Valerie Loretta leaving Bellator for WWE? That's what I've been hearing. Is it the last fight on Burgos' contract? I have no idea. Did you see O'Malley versus Cejudo? I did see it. I think it's kind of Cejudo's just looking for clout. Just got the boss and I'm out. Brother, catch you tonight if you're on. Catch you tonight, VT. I may or may not be on, but you can always message me on Discord, man. We have us members, I'm telling you guys right now, members in the chat, let them know what they're missing. We have an amazing time in the Discord. At this point, there's so many messages in the Discord, sometimes I can't even keep up with everything. We're all talking amongst ourselves, having good laughs, talking about the latest news. I get most of my breaking news from the Discord now, basically. So there, I'll talk to you on there probably. Do you think TJ gets more shit for using juice than Jones ever got? For sure, and I'm guilty of doing this myself. Have you ever heard of an MMA channel known as MMA Guru? Never heard of him. I'm late, brother, so watching from the beginning. Thanks for all the content, man. Thank you, Gary, for being a member, and thank you for watching the streams from start to finish. I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate you. Do you think Patty has potential to crack the top 5? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have no idea how Burgos even makes featherweight. He is huge. In my opinion, if Dana was a fighter, he'd be popular. He's got great trash talk abilities and personality. I mean, he's a popular guy, and people already love him. So, yeah, he would be a huge fighter. Parlay this weekend, feeling Burns and Penne. Get on it. Get on it. Will Rosenstrike retire soon, you think? Probably not. Heavyweights tend to stick around for a while. Do you think Jones going to fight ever, or is he going to keep talking? He's going to fight this year, I'm hoping. The Discord's insane. I can't even keep up, like 50 messages every time I go. I know. It's hard. Sometimes I just jump into the conversation. That's why I have the extra tabs. Because imagine we just had like 2 tabs. It would be way too crazy. I know when we first started off, we had like 5 or 6 tabs, and we're like, oh, we don't even use all these. And I'm kind of still reorganizing and stuff. But it gets pretty crazy in there. Spinning back fist, second tweet down, MMA Island Insta. I don't trust either one of those, to be honest. I'm sorry, Patty Mills. I don't. You're in my you're on my shit list now, Patty. You're getting me hyped up for fight cards from irreliable sources. It might happen though, and I hope it does happen, and then maybe you can be redeemed. Well, I guess you'll be redeemed anyway because you're a frequent donator to the channel, so I have to let you be redeemed anyway. Izzy YouTube channel is kind of boring. The only thing I ever watched from Izzy's YouTube channel is when him and Volk did like a video together. You listened to Ortega interview earlier, thoughts on it? I have not listened to anything. I listened to half the Nate Diaz interview, and that's all I've listened to recently. Why do people hate on TJ so much? He did suspension. People still... Because he injected EPO into his asshole, and then he took careers off of Henan Barrow's life. He took years off of Henan Barrow's career, is what I meant, and years off his life as well. And he possibly ended Cody Garbrandt's career. MMA at the end of the day is entertainment. The Adesanya walkout will be remembered forever. Other MMA fighters need to learn how to be more entertaining. Yeah. I don't know if that walkout will be... remembered forever, but I guess so. Don't forget our $10 holla bet for Carla Whaley. You bet on Carla, right? So you're going to have to send me a $10 holla when Carla leaves. When Carla loses. Think Derek Lewis is washed. Doubt he beats the... I think he loses as well. A lot of retired fighters aren't set financially when they retire. It's sad. It's very sad. The random tag gets the most action. Yeah. That's why I made it the random one. What's on the Abu Dhabi card? No idea, but they actually changed it up. It's actually really unfortunate. Something's going on. There's some reshuffling. UFC 280 will now be the Abu Dhabi card on October 22nd. So we're going to go like a month and a half in between pay-per-views. Because I think the other one's the second week of September. And then we're going to have the third week of October is going to be UFC 280. Second week of September is going to be UFC 279. We were supposed to get one in between there. So we were supposed to get like 3 pay-per-views in the span of a month. Or spanning like of 6 weeks or so. Which was going to be nice because one was going to be free probably. But now the Abu Dhabi one is now going to be UFC 280 instead of UFC 281. So that's kind of actually unfortunate. Slightly unfortunate. You know I got Carla. I can't wait for that $10 holla, Blayton. TJ only popped a test once, and that's when he fought Triple C. It doesn't matter to me. He was using that shit forever. They don't even test for EPO on a regular basis. Are you watching Rose's next fight? No, I'm boycotting it. Do you like Bilal? Not necessarily. If Cody loses his next fight, that'll definitely be one of the sadder moments. Imagine he gets chinned by Ronnie Yaya. I'd cry. I'd literally cry if he got chinned by Ronnie Yaya. Could you imagine? I literally couldn't imagine. If he got chinned by Ronnie, oh my, that'd be a travesty. And I think I forgot to tweet out my stream. I'm actually really infuriated. We're in 23 minutes in already, guys. Keep the questions coming. Look, I'll tell you this, guys. If we're at 43 likes. If we get 60 likes on the stream or another $10 holla, we'll go for 2 hours, okay? We'll go for 2 hours on the live chat. So we're at 43 likes right now. You can get it to 60. because there's probably plenty of people who haven't liked it. There's probably people who have liked it and left. If we get to 60 likes or another $10 holla, we'll go for 2 hours on this stream. So there you go. You guys have a goal now. Get to it. Good night, Joey. Good night, White Magic. Do you think the UFC is ever trying to use up the last of Conor milking at the end of his run? It seems like someone as famous as him can't develop like Jim Miller less. Yeah, definitely. Definitely for sure. They are trying to... They're going to try to keep him lasting as long as possible. They'll give him tune-up fights as best they can. Bilal has no hands. Very true, but neither Sean Brady doesn't have particularly good hands either. Cody's done, in my opinion. No head movement. What are your thoughts? I don't think he's done. I think he'll make a resurgence. Conor versus Tony. I love it. Do you agree Cody versus Cruz was one of the best performances in title history? It was pretty good. It was pretty damn good. For sure. Do you think the UFC is trying to use up... Yeah, I already answered this. Yes, they are. They're going to try to keep him around for as long as possible. Give him fights he can win. I did my part. Appreciate you. TJ was also super aggressive with sparring partners. Yeah, we've heard that plenty of time. He supposedly ended... what is it? Something... Holdsworth? Chris Holdsworth? Chris Holdsworth's career supposedly got injured in sparring with him or something and never really returned. Patty Mills with the $9.99. Holla. Run them likes up. You heard the guy. Get the 60 likes. Come on, guys. We got the $10 holla. Now get the 60 likes too while you're at it. We're at 47 likes, but we got 50 people in here. So who knows? It might be cutting it close, but I'm sure there's people that liked it and left. And people that are still here. So appreciate you, Patty Mills. Will O'Malley ever be as big of a star as Conor? Absolutely not. Will not happen. Following his question, who do you think had the best title fight performance? Conor versus Eddie, Cruz versus Dom, Cody versus Dom, Izzy versus Costa, all come to mind. The best title performance I've ever seen from a fighter. Does that mean dominant, though? Let me think. Best title performance ever. I mean, Anderson Silva had quite a few. I'm trying to think of which one was like, holy shit, this guy is good. I mean, Cruz versus Cody was good. Conor versus Eddie was good. Volk versus Max in the trilogy was good as well. I'm trying to think of older performances too. Kamaru versus Jorge 2 was very good, but I don't really think Jorge was had a chance to win anyway. Best performance in a title fight. I think John Jones versus Gus 2 was really, really good. Lightweight. I'm trying to think of all the different title fights I've seen. I'll say Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen 2. Best performance in a title fight I've ever seen. But it's kind of subjective because it wasn't necessarily dominant. He got taken down the first round and held down. Second round, he came out and just beat his ass. So I'll say that. Or next best would be Carla Esparza in a rematch against Rose. That was a hell of a performance. I mean, that was world class. That will go down in the history books. That's probably going to get inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame next year during International Fight Week, something along those lines. So there you go. I hope you got your money's worth for the question of no money, but there you go. Yeah, he need Chris to the back of the head in grappling practice, I believe. Nasty. Big ups to Patty Mill for recharging the stream. Yeah, appreciate you. Just get this guy to 100 million. Yeah, 100 million likes on the stream. Come on. Imagine we get to 100 million subs. That's not even possible, but that'd be crazy. Thoughts on new profile pic? I like it much better. Patty Mills. I went right to your question. I saw it. I'm going to answer him right away. I had to see the new pick. The new, boom, the Charles Oliveira, the champion. I like it. Keep it. Much better than the other one. The other one kind of was weird. Upcoming fight night picks for me, Joey. Watterson, Tate, Ducote. Who do you have winning? Let me look up the card real quick. Maybe we'll do a stream on Friday. I'll go through my full card picks. I'm definitely not picking Watterson. I'll tell you that much. I'm picking Lemos. So I'm going Lemos, Murphy, and I'm probably going Ducati. Just so much younger, 28 to 39 in women's. Yeah, I'm only agreeing with you on the Emily Ducati. I think it's how you pronounce her name. The other two I'm against you on. I'm going with Lauren Murphy, and I'm going with Lemos, and I'm pretty confident. Best fighters born in the... I don't know what all these guys' birthdays are. So, I don't know. John Jones, when he won the title against... Yes. Yep. I was actually casual then. Volk versus Ortega. Volk versus Ortega. Actually, let me look up when that John Jones Shogun fight is. I think I missed that fight, though. It was like, what, 229? 228. March of 2011. I actually missed this card. And I think I watched like pretty much everyone after that, but I missed that card. And I was watching for a while before. Let's see what 127 was. You know what it was? I went and saw 127, and it was BJ Penn versus John Fitch, and it was garbage. The card was garbage. So I was like kind of put off, and I missed UFC 228. Let me see. I'm going to go back here. 125, Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard draw. Did I watch the draw? I can't remember. UFC 226, Anderson Silva Vitor I watched. 227. I'm trying to think. I watched 227. I missed 228. 129 I definitely watched. 130 I may have missed, but I may have watched. I don't remember. 131 I definitely watched. 132, I think I missed this. I don't even know if this was actually a pay-per-view or not. I don't remember that being a pay-per-view. 133, I hope I didn't order that. That was a piece of shit. 134 I definitely watched. 135, Jones Quinton. Yeah, I think around 130-ish, 134-ish is when I really started ordering every single pay-per-view. 136 I definitely watched. 137 I missed. I remember I missed that, but it was because there was a cancellation. I was like, I'm not going out to watch that. I was going out to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch it at the time. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Holy crap. Let's see what went on here. Hold on a second. Why did we hide this message? Hold on. I'm missing. I don't know what's going on here. I'm looking at the YouTube thing. You didn't need to hide this message. Unless, was it sent again? Is that what it was? I didn't even say. Was it sent again? Is that why you hit it? If you did, that's fine. But, okay, I'm going to get back to the stream. I can't figure out what's going on. We'll talk about it later. Patty Mills supercharging the stream. Holy shit. Another $9.99 holla, a.k.a. the $10 holla. This stream's bringing in the good donations, okay? This stream might got to go on forever. This stream's bringing in the good donations. And if anybody's watching who's not subscribed, go subscribe. There you go. All right, let me go back and find where I left off. Instead of trying to figure out what was going on there. Volk versus Ortega. What are you asking there, Atom? Biggest upset in UFC history was Matt Serra beating GSP. I don't know. I wasn't watching them, but it was. You should check out JoJo Allegedly. It's a YouTube channel, but he has interesting outtakes of current UFC events. Okay. Think Derek Lewis is washed. Doubt he will beat the Russian. Okay, I already read that. Champion has a name. Early prediction. of Nunes versus Pena too. I'm going No, I'm going Nunes all the way. I'm just trolling a little bit. Um, The other one was my old one from years ago. I'm glad you changed it, man. I like this one much better, and it looks high res too. You didn't use the shitty picks. Why aren't you going to the card this weekend? My Venom gear isn't going to arrive in time. Aljo is a sucker. He did win an Oscar though. UFC 255 is so underrated. UFC 255. What event was that? Look, I'm not Googling it. UFC 255. I believe UFC 255. Was that the Figgy Moreno draw? Was that the Figgy Moreno? Now I'm Googling it. UFC 255. I think it's the Moreno draw. No, it's Alex Perez. I'm dumb. 256 because Davison fought back-to-back. It was the Alex Perez fight. I knew that, but I didn't think about it long enough. If I would have thought about it a little longer, I would have had it right. Damn it, that pisses me off because I knew what that was. Usman Woodley was a good performance. Yes, it was. I picked Usman in that. I'm still confused how Lemos is at -40 when she really hasn't done anything. I think she's just much better than Waterson. People have seen the skill sets. I don't think she should be that big of a favorite, but I don't know how they decide what's right. Aljo versus TJ. I got TJ all day. What's up beside you? Right on, Joey. Thanks for the response. Thank you for your support, Blatant Express. Really, you were casual then? I'm old head. I watched the first 2 UFCs, then I started. So I started becoming a hardcore when Anderson choked out Chael Sonnen at UFC 117. I wouldn't say I was a casual then, but I wasn't a hardcore after that immediately. At some points after 118, from about 118 to somewhere around the mid 130s, I watched probably about 60 to 75% of the events. And then somewhere in 2011 is when I became a true hardcore and just started watching everything, you know. And then for a long while, I watched every single fight on every single card. But then as life, I got busier and busier, and I would miss some of the early prelims. I very rarely missed the prelims, but I would miss some of the early prelims. And I still do that occasionally. But now I try, since I have the channel, I try to watch every single fight. Because sometimes, you know, there's a person who might fight on the early prelims. Next thing you know, they're fighting for a belt. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Thank you again, Patty Mills, for the multiple donations. I appreciate it. We'll see if we can get another one out of you before the end of the stream. Lost 14,000 trading crypto. Would rather contribute to a better cause. That hurts me. That hurts me, bro. Habib brother versus the other Nurmagomedov, who you got both fight at 135, if I'm not mistaken. It's Habib's cousin. You're talking about Umar versus Saeed. That'd be a close fight. I would take Umar probably. What was it twice though? Was it twice? Is that what you're saying? But it doesn't matter. Lemos would dominate Andrade before the hit. Stop. Lemos is a bigger favorite than Adesanya was against Cannonier. Kind of wild to me, especially. Yeah, very true. You're right. I remember when I bought that Anderson pay-per-view against Chael and I was watching it with my girl's nephew. Great fight. Agreed. Do you think Andrew Tate is good overall round? I don't even know who that is. Thoughts on Yuri Prohaska challenging Glover over Yan? I like it. It was an amazing fight. Book it again. Boneless or regular wings? I love wings. I like both. I'm 50-50, honestly. I can go either way. Let me know in the chat. This is not MMA related. But who has not MMA. Who has an America's Best Wings near them? America's Best Wings has some good-ass wings. I have like 2 of them within like 20 minutes of me. But there's one opening up like 5 minutes from me. So I'm curious who's been there, who has one near their house. Waterson will beat her, French fries. There you go, Blatant. Do you think Volk can beat top 5 lightweights? It's going to be tough. He can beat some of them. It's 50-50. But I think he loses to some of them as well. I mean, Charles Oliveira's 50-50. I think he probably loses to Dustin. He probably loses to Gaethje. He probably loses to Islam. Probably beats Chandler, maybe. It's weird how I think he matches up best with the champ over everyone else. Chael said his testosterone level was 17-1 when normal people are 3-1. Yeah, Chael was a known cheater, so. But a lot of guys were cheating back then. Marvin Vettori versus Jarrett Cannonier. I will go Marvin Vettori for sure. Is Tony Ferguson still capable to have a comeback and get a title shot? No. He can win fights. He'll never fight for a title. Yes, Umar, Saeed, do you think they will ever fight? No, they will never fight. Is it wise to sleep on Pena again after all she ever... No. It's not wise, but I'm doing it anyway, Yusuf. I do not. Seems like Joey never takes my comments serious. I'm not always trolling. What did I not take serious? Let me know what I did not take serious, goat. I'm from the UK, so no. I don't know what that was about, but... Oh, the America's Best Wings. I think a lot of people cheat now, especially overseas fighter. I think there's probably a lot more fighters taking roids than people think. But there's some people like me who wouldn't doubt if 50% of them are on it. So, since they both lost, thoughts on Cannonier versus Costa. Costa has a fight coming up against Luke Rockhold, but I like that one. But if Costa loses again, match them up. Never heard of America's Best Wings, but don't have any by me. What are your guys' favorite wing places? Because I'm telling you right now, if you say Wingstop, you're getting banned from the chat. We have a Wingstop near us, and I had it one time, and it was god-awful. Some of the worst wings I ever tasted. Let me put it this way. I very rarely waste food. I ate like 3 of them things, and I threw it away. It tasted like they took it out of the frozen section at the grocery store, the cheapest box of frozen wings they could find, and threw it right into a deep fryer. And then put the blandest sauce I've ever tasted on it. Da Un Jung or Jacoby. I'm going Jung. Jacoby's tough, though. For sure. Do you know if they test for growth hormone? I believe they do. Never heard of the Wings place here in Ohio. B-Dubs was the spot for watching fights back in the day. Yeah, that's where I used to go. I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. In my early days of being a UFC fan, I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings because I said, well, at least I'm going to spend $50 and I'm going to get food, rather than paying $60 or $50 for the pay-per-view itself. So I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Our Buffalo Wild Wings now, it used to be so popular back in the day. And now it's like empty all the time. I don't go there very often anymore, but it's like empty anytime I do go. Completely empty. Like no one goes there. I'm surprised it hasn't gone out of business yet. Chael Sonnen versus Luke Rockhold. I moved recently. I'm not sure what wing places is by me now, but I like Buffalo Wild Wings for what it was. Fair enough. Is Fiziev versus Gaethje the right fight to make? Yes. I do a lot of grilling, Daniel. We have wing houses down here in Florida. The girl dressed like Hooters, except the food is good. What's the name of it? Is it just called wing houses? What's the name of it? Honestly, don't know any good wing places, but Wing Rings and Things is all right. It's called Wing Rings and Things. That's a weird name. What about Solihoff versus the Leech? I lean Solihoff, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Li Jingliang could pull off the upset. I picked Santiago Ponzinibbio against him, and he KO'd him. I think you always call it like it is, 100% for over a year. That I've been a sub. I appreciate you. Keep out. That's what I try to do. There are places in Vegas called Rosatias. I went for the Diaz versus Lawler rematch. It was pretty good. That's awesome. That's all. I forgot you live in Vegas. That's pretty cool. Never heard of it. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Where are you from in Ohio? Oh, you're talking about him. We have the smoker, and we still haven't used it. I'm hoping we can do it sometime this summer. That'd be awesome. Yeah, the name is Wing House, and they're good. So I'll have to keep that in mind next time I'm in Florida. I'll look for a Wing House. Who should Shabazian fight next? Probably spelled that wrong. You definitely spelled it wrong. But who should he fight next? Let's take a look. I don't know. Realistically, someone out of the rankings for sure. I'll pull up a list and take a look. He's chilling at middleweight. Maybe a Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva would make a lot of sense. Now you guys are making me want some wings. I'm going to get wings tomorrow probably. Who should Sabazian fight next? Oh, I already answered that. Bruno Silva. Make the fight. That's a tough fight for him, though. But they're both coming off a loss, so makes sense. If Fiziev wins a couple of his fights, title shot immediately. If he wins his next fight. What are your thoughts on the channel from when you started till now? What were your expectations? I had really no expectations. I didn't think it would grow like anything crazy, but I couldn't be happier. We're coming up on 4,000 subs. We will be there soon. Hopefully by this time next week. Hopefully by the end of next week we'll be at 4,000 subs. And it's only up from here. It's the compound effect of YouTube. It's only up from here. There's some people who won't subscribe to a channel just because they have low subs. They think they're a shitty channel. So the more subs I get, the more subs will subscribe. As long as you guys are enjoying the videos, until you guys start telling me, I hate the videos are garbage, then I'm happy. So I'm hoping, I really want to hit 10K by the end of the year, and I think it's really possible. So that's my goal. But I think if Fiziev wins his next fight, he gets a title shot. I've been going with my sister to Hooters since I was 7 to watch. Really. I don't know why my nose is itching so bad all of a sudden. We get our wings from the slaughterhouse. They make them really good. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Who should Colby fight next if it isn't Hamzat? I don't know. He's going to be out for a while, so we'll have to see what the layout of the division is. If it's not Hamzat, then I guess book him against Burns. Or if Shavkat wins his next fight, book him against Shavkat, or book him against Shavkat now. I'm from Arkansas. I hate the way Arkansas is pronounced compared to the spelling. Because it really should be said Kansas, but it's Arkansas. So the spelling and the pronunciation is weird. Every time I see that. Yeah, if you are in Clearwater, Tampa area, hit me up. I will take you over there. All right, Vince, I'm staying at your place. I'm coming to Clearwater tomorrow. All this talk about wings got me hungry. I'm about to cook a ribeye steak. Yeah, it's got me a little bit hungry too. Edmund Shabazian looks too small for middleweight, to be honest. I don't know if he can make 170 though. Who's next for Jimmy Crute? Jeez Louise, the real questions. I had an answer for this a while ago, but it's tough off the top of my head to think. For Jim Crute. Maybe OSP. Maybe the winner of Dustin Jacoby. Nah, he's on a losing streak. He's got to fight someone else on a losing streak. The loser of Dong Ung Jung versus Dustin Jacoby. Or Ian Kutalaba. Book Jimmy Crute versus Ian Kutalaba. I'd like to see that. I have a full breakdown and prediction on the channel, but I have Yair. But go watch the full breakdown and prediction on the channel. Guys, if you're watching the stream and you haven't liked it yet, and you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe to the channel and like the stream. We still haven't even got over 50 likes. Come on, guys. We're doing a 2-hour live chat today. My nose is itching like crazy. And we're doing a 2-hour live chat, and we can't even get to 60 likes, let alone 50. That's actually heartbreaking, guys. That's heartbreaking. And now we're at 3,000. We gained a couple subs while on stream from videos and from the stream, I guess. 3,854 subs. So we are 146 subs away from 4,000. Me and Chris Curtis both from Cincinnati. I went to UFC Columbus in March. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you went. Oh, you're talking to him. I'm sorry. For those of you who watched the Chris Curtis interview, did you enjoy it? That's all I need to know. Did you enjoy it? Colby isn't going to fight for a long time, in my opinion. He's trying to get money off Jorge. Could be very well. I agree 100%. There are channels with 1K subs who have better content than channels with 500K. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you. I want to be one of those channels, and then eventually I'm going to get to 500K. I'm telling you right now, guys, if I ever get to 100K and I got a plaque, I'm going to lose my mind. We're going to have a massive celebration. 100K, dude. If I get a plaque sent to me from YouTube, imagine I get a plaque sent to me from YouTube. I immediately close down the channel. I said, I met my goals. I'm out of here. There's nothing left for me to do. And I just disappeared forever. I would never do that, but I'm just saying. Probably not, but maybe. 205 isn't particularly stacked. We'll have to see. It's too early to tell. Fazeev needs 3 wins at least. Lightweight is jammed at the top, and we may now. I think he beats Justin Gaethje. He's right there in line. That's cool. You are always welcome. Appreciate you. Give me Dom Reyes versus Nikita Krylov. Nikita Krylov is fighting Gustafsson soon. Da Un Jung went from 2.2 to 1.75. Shit is wild. I don't even know what that means. I'm not even sure what that means. I guess that's something to do with odds. What's your favorite kind of steak? I'm basting it right now. Either a New York strip or a ribeye. A ribeye, probably. I already liked it. I like all your videos trying to support the channel. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. My YouTube app says 54 likes. Let's see how many I got on my end. Let's see. Mine might say a little bit different. Yeah, mine says 54 now. Mine says 54. Either way, we're going to 2 hours. We're going to hit 2 hours, maybe a little bit over. I got on the stream and I was already thirsty. But also talking, your mouth gets really dry. That's why I always got water with me. I've literally drank 3 bottles of water. I have a little bit left in this one. Since I got on stream, I drank 3 bottles of water. I might have drank one a little bit before I got on. Like, drank some of it before I got on, though. But if you go back and watch the entire thing, I don't know why this didn't show up in the it didn't show up in the StreamYard, but big fan. Thank you for being a member for 10 months. What's up, homeboy? MMA Joey represent. Nate Diaz emoji. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. For some reason, it didn't show up on StreamYard, so I can't put it on the thing. But I switch back just in case there's messages like that that don't show up every once in a while. Joey, would you rather drive a Lamborghini or a Bugatti? Probably a Bugatti. I feel like Bugatti might have a little bit more space, but I'm not cool with getting cramped into a car regardless. Who would you like to see matched up with Paul Craig? I don't know. He needs a big fight next. He's winning fights. Maybe the winner. I don't know. Maybe Dominic Reyes. Does Dominic Reyes have a fight next? Maybe Dominic Reyes. That's what I'll go with. Yes, interview was good. Hit the likes, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Great interview. Chris Curtis has become a fighter I didn't know anything about that I now support. I'm glad you support him, Vince. There you go. I'm happy. I'm happy. You know, even though it's a small channel, we can bring some people to know him. Yes, interview was great. Your questions and the time you asked Chris questions were spaced out well. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Brado's show. I love the interviews. I remember you asking a while back if you would do them, and super happy to see content expanding. I'm looking forward to seeing more interviews. Yeah, dude, it's tough. It's tough, but it's like a secondary thing to the channel of the interviews. I'll continue to do them when I can. Mike Chandler, KO, Dan Hooker, and T. Ferg, who are both downhill and old. True. What did UFC ask? I don't know. It's from the Moreno Kai Kara France. I won't know until it's out. They didn't tell me. Is Gus fighting at 205 again? Love both interviews. My only critique after the fighter finished speaking, you would say, yeah, my advice would be to show you were fine. Yeah, well, sometimes I said that. It's just, you know, I'm just learning how to do it. But sometimes I responded. Sometimes I just moved on to the next question. I didn't want to linger on it for too long. It's something I'm working on to get better. Did you ever get dislikes on a lot? I never look at dislikes, so I don't even know. I don't even care about dislikes. Yes, ribeye or filet mignon is the best in my opinion. Have you ever gone perfect on a card? Not since the YouTube channel, but probably at some point in time. Dominic Reyes versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill KOs him for sure. You ever been to Japan? No. I've never been out of the country. Who's your favorite fighter of all time? Mine is Rich Franklin. Anderson Silva. Paul Costa has a really funny Instagram. Favorite MMA villain? Yeah. What is your opinion on the Schmo and Helen Yee? I really don't know all that much about them. They do a good job. I see a lot of interviews. Thoughts on interim belts being the old design? I don't like that idea. Just keep them all the same. You can't give MMA Joey a two-door. Yeah, exactly. Do you know if you're able to interview? There's no way he's going to respond to me, and I'm not asking like anything about you know, from Chris or anything like that. I feel like that's corny. Just be careful because I heard interviews can screw up the algorithm. I don't see how a couple interviews here or there will screw it up. So it's worked well for me. It's done well. The videos have done good. I'm not going to like fill up my channel with 100 million interviews of everyone I could possibly find, but occasionally here and there I'm going to do them. Are they going to pay you for... Now, they're going to use a couple seconds. They're not going to pay me. It's just worth it for the exposure. My name will be on the UFC Countdown. You will see my name pop up in small letters at the bottom whenever they used an audio clip from my thing. It's literally going to be a couple seconds. It's not going to be a minute use of my content. And even if it was, it's worth it for the exposure to be on the UFC Countdown. You know what I'm saying? So, no. I would never even think they were going to pay me for that. And unfortunately, I don't mind it. You know, it's worth it. It's worth it to have my name on the UFC Countdown. If one person finds the channel from seeing MMA Joey at the bottom of the countdown and subscribes, there you go. If Arnold Allen fought Josh Emmett, I have Allen winning by TKO second round. I'd probably pick Arnold Allen by finish as well. If Anderson Silva hadn't taunted in Weidman fight, do you think he would have retained the title a lot more time? I think he would have eventually lost soon, but I think he would have beat Weidman the first time had he not been clowning around. The occasional interview is a treat for us. I appreciate the hard work you put into the channel. Yeah, and eventually if I grow, let's say I grow the channel to be some massive thing, it's not really going to matter, you know, because we're going to have the hardcore people who are watching the videos regardless. Yeah, and I don't think it's going to hurt anything, to be honest. I really don't. So, the occasional interview. Okay, I already read that. Worst case scenario, you could put them in interviews in the members only. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's ever going to be necessary. If I ever got to a point where I was doing a crazy amount of interviews, which I don't think is ever going to happen, that's a secondary thing on my channel. I want my channel to be an opinion analysis type channel. I don't have dreams of turning it into a nothing but interview channel. That's just an extra piece of content for you guys. That's all that is. And I enjoy talking to the fighters. I've only talked to one so far, but still, it's never going to be something that I'm doing like 50 times a day. And if it was, I'd probably start a secondary channel and just put interviews on the channel and only certain interviews on the main channel. Against who have Silva lost, there wasn't much competition at the time. He lost to Weidman, and what do you mean? I don't know. He lost to Weidman twice. He lost to Uriah Hall right before he left. Lost to Jared Cannonier right before he left. Alex Pereira versus Prime Anderson Silva. I'm just kidding. Anderson Silva. I take Anderson Silva all day, but I'm an Anderson Silva fanboy. So I'm taking Anderson the Spider Silva. There you go. That's what I'm going with. I mean, Anderson Silva was so elusive and such a good striker in his prime. It was awesome. How did you and Chris Curtis form a relationship? Did you just reach out to him? First off, who heard? Maybe he's just a nice guy. Chris Curtis said he considers me a friend. There you go. You heard it from him, not me. But the way it was formed was I was doing a live stream, and he joined. Apparently he was subscribed to the channel and joined the live stream, and he was talking in the chat, right? He was messaging in my chat, and he was acting like he was Chris Curtis. And I told the guy, I was like, dude, why are you pretending to be Chris Curtis? You're a clown. I mean, this is weird, right? And he literally video called me on Instagram, and it was really him. And I was like, oh God, I was dying, right? I had seen him comment on some of my videos before, and I just never thought anything of it because there's so many people who pretend to be fighters online. And then from there, I told him on the live stream when I was talking to him on video call, I said, look, man, people are telling me to do interviews. I'd love to do an interview with you in the future before your fight. He said, yeah, man, hit me up. Well, I'm down to do it. And then we did the first one, and now we did the second one. We occasionally chat here and there, and that's what happened. And now we're friends, according to him. So I'm happy to hear it. I like Chris. I mean, Chris is a great guy. Chris is seriously a great guy. I'm going to root for him in every fight. He just seems like a genuine good dude. Obviously, you know, it's not like I've hung out with him for days at a time. I've talked to him in short bursts. Seems like a great dude. Joey, my man, I am lurking multitasking with work. Appreciate you, soothsayer weatherman. You are a real one. I think Ortega submits Yair after losing the fight on the judges' scorecards. We will see, big fan. We will see. Did you watch the breakdown and prediction? I might change your mind to Yair. I mean, if you hadn't lost against Weidman, against who would he have lost his title to? Luke Rockhold, I believe he would have lost his title to. That's a crack up. Okay. I'm glad that's a crack up for you. Okay, guys, we're almost to the 2-hour mark. Listen, guys, I appreciate all the donations. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate all the likes. Go watch my main event prediction. I almost said headliner prediction. Go watch my main event prediction for Saturday. Please go watch it. It's on the channel. Go watch my Chris Curtis interview. I might have another video come out later today. I'm debating about what video I want to make. If not, it'll probably be out tomorrow. But do me a favor, check out those videos. Make sure to like the stream before you leave. If you want to message me and have a great community to discuss MMA 24/7, the members link is down in the description. Become a member. It's $3 a month. You get to join the members Discord. You can message me anytime. We have a great community of about 40 guys in there that are always talking about MMA, breaking news, all that good stuff. I let you guys know when I'm doing random streams, what videos I'm working on, all that good stuff. Appreciate you guys all for joining me. Every Wednesday I go live at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so you can join me next Wednesday, and I will be streaming the fights this Saturday, at least the main card. I will have that scheduled on the channel maybe tomorrow or Friday. So I think that pretty much does it. Subscribe, like the stream, enjoy the rest of your night, and talk to you guys later.